What if the biggest thing holding you back from the retirement of your dreams isn't your bank account, but your mindset? Let me tell you a quick story about Rick and Rosie. They're in their late 50s, own a successful business, and they have been doing everything right. They paid down their mortgage, paid for their kids' college, funded their retirement plans, and now they're kicking around the thought of retiring soon as their net worth approaches about $4 million. But the thought of retirement gives them great anxiety. Recently, Rick's mom passed away. Rick's mom was a first-generation American. She came to America with a backpack and a couple $100s in her pocket. Through her perseverance, hard work, and almost maniacal frugality, she amassed a net worth of close to $2.5 million at the time she passed. Rosie's childhood was also characterized by financial insecurity. Raised by a single mother who was always just trying to make the ends meet, there wasn't a lot of money left over for the non-essentials. During both of their childhoods, money was always tight, and they learned very early on not to ask for things that they didn't need. Now, as adults, this has become so ingrained in their thinking that they don't feel comfortable spending money on things that they don't deem absolutely necessary. Even though, by all accounts, at $6.5 million of net worth, they have more than enough money to begin to loosen the purse strings. Rick and Rosie are textbook examples of something called the scarcity mindset. And I've been running across this a lot with clients lately. This mindset can be detrimental in a lot of ways and can limit people's lives in retirement. But with the right tools, it's possible to break through this scarcity mindset and live the retirement of our dreams. If we haven't met before, my name is JP Geisbauer, founder of Centerpoint Financial Management. I'm a certified public accountant, a certified financial planner professional, and I create financial plans that help give people confidence and clarity as they transition into retirement. So what is the scarcity mindset? Simply put, the scarcity mindset is the belief that resources are limited and we will simply never have enough. Thoughts that go along with this mindset are, we could lose everything. What if something goes terribly wrong? I don't want to spend too much. I may need it later. There are 4 key ways this scarcity mindset affects us as we begin to think about retirement. And number 4 could be the most detrimental. But let's start with number 1. The scarcity mindset causes oversaving and underspending. Many of us think that the only way we can survive in retirement is to never touch our assets. That if we only live off the income the assets generate and never draw down the principal, we'll be okay. But the fact of the matter is, retirement is the reason we have been saving. What does that mean? Spending down the principal is part of the exercise. Number 2, the scarcity mindset limits our generosity. When you're trapped in the "what if I run out of money" frame of mind, the thought of helping others feels unsafe. We hesitate to gift money to our children or grandchildren. We delay donating to the charities and institutions we care so deeply about. And we put off our estate planning because we think, like most people, that our beneficiaries will just get whatever's left. But what if whatever left is way too much? Put a pin in that one. We'll talk more about that later. For many retirees, being generous is the reward. Helping their kids purchase a new home, assisting the grandkids with college, donating a significant amount of money to a charity they care deeply about. All of these are examples that give us fulfillment and help define our legacy. But if we have a scarcity mindset, we're too afraid to allow ourselves this reward. The third way a scarcity mindset affects our retirement is we invest too conservatively. I'm a Gen Xer, and if you are also, or even a bit older, you probably remember the 2 once-in-a-lifetime catastrophes we went through within 7 short-year time frame. I'm talking about the tech wreck of 2000 and the great mortgage meltdown/global crisis of 2007. And I can't help but think that those events have scarred those of us with the scarcity mindset. When a more minor stock correction occurs, we have the tendency to overreact. We feel like we'd rather have our money in super conservative investments like cash, CDs, money market accounts, short-term treasuries to make sure we never incur the losses we did during those two incredibly turbulent times. But by putting our assets into these safe investments, we ignore other risks that our investments may be subject to, like they may not keep up with inflation, causing our purchasing power to shrink over time. So while we think we're playing it safe, we're actually subjecting our retirement to a different type of risk. And the goal of investing isn't to just avoid risk, but to invest with a purpose and a plan. Now, these three behaviors culminate with number 4, and perhaps the most detrimental to our retirement. The scarcity mindset tricks us into working longer than necessary. Let's face it, many people could retire comfortably, but don't. They keep working because of this fear of uncertainty. And because of that, their life and retirement suffers. They delay plans to travel or spend time with the grandkids. They miss out on hobbies or things they've always wanted to try. They're unable to spend their time volunteering or really feeling like they're making a difference in people's lives. They simply just continue to grind it out like they always have, in their minds, keeping them just one step away from guaranteed financial ruin. How do we change this mindset? The first recommendation is for us to go to therapy. Talking with a therapist can help us address some of the issues and traumas we went through as children. Now look, I'm a financial advisor, so I'm not going to play armchair therapist today. I'm happy to stay in my lane. But as someone who has gone through therapy, I can attest to how effective it can be when it comes to affecting our mindset. Number 2, and now back to my wheelhouse, building a retirement plan. A comprehensive retirement plan has many components, but 3 critical ones: asset allocation and location, retirement income projections, and a tax-efficient withdrawal strategy. An asset allocation and location strategy will make sure we have our assets invested correctly and in the right accounts. A retirement income projection can illustrate how much we can expect to reliably earn during our retirement. Having a steady stream of income can give us some guardrails as far as how much we can spend during retirement. And a tax-smart withdrawal strategy will help us preserve our wealth by paying less to Uncle Sam. Number 3, using a bucket strategy. A bucket strategy helps us create pools of money based upon the time we will need to draw them down. Typically, there are 3 buckets: one for cash, one for conservative investments, and the third for growth investments. These buckets will align with the time horizon that we will need to draw down these funds. When we have a scarcity mindset, we have a tendency to overfund buckets 1 and 2. But we still have assets in number 3, meaning the assets in this bucket will grow. The goal of the bucket strategy is primarily twofold. Number 1, to give you the peace of mind that when the market does tank, we will have enough cash to weather the storm. And number 2, we will never have to sell assets into a distressed market. Markets go up, but they can also go down, and painfully so. But by having cash on the sidelines to fund our lifestyle during the turbulent times, we're never forced to sell our assets distressed, which means when the market comes roaring back, our assets will come roaring back too. Number 4, create a spending strategy. A spending strategy should be part of the retirement plan we discussed in number 2. But once you've created the retirement plan, it's important to go back to review to make sure your spending is in line with the reality. Remember earlier when I talked about Rick and Rosie and how much they wanted to leave their kids? Initially, they were thinking they wanted their kids to inherit somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000 to $1 million each. When we finished their retirement plan and modeled out their projected estate, their kids were looking at getting somewhere closer to $5 to $6 million each. This was an eye-opener for Rick and Rosie, and we began reworking their spending strategy and goals so they could live the retirement of their dreams, start much earlier, and still provide their kids with a generous inheritance upon their passing. A great financial advisor won't just manage your money. They will help you create a retirement that matches your values and intentions. By crafting a comprehensive retirement strategy, bucket strategy, and spending strategy. A financial advisor can help work with you to help alleviate the stress that a scarcity mindset can bring to retirement. If you are wondering how a financial advisor can help you navigate your mindset as it relates to retirement, please click on the first link in the description below to schedule a time to see how we can work together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.